over?
I think there is a chance, and I think these elections might send a signal. I think the continual presence of the Tea Party movement and the people speaking out might wake them up finally, and say, hey, maybe we are doing too much too fast, and they might back off. Right now, they're not absolutely positive they have the votes on this medical bill. We'll know shortly whether the House will see if they have the votes. They think the House can do it faster than the Senate. They're going to try to do that on Saturday of this week. But they have a few problems. It's not automatic, and thank goodness for radio talk shows and the Internet for us to get this information out. That's what's rallying the troops. It certainly is in the mainstream media.
Speaking of the Internet, we're talking to Congressman Ron Paul. We now have the Cybersecurity Act. 3 days ago, finally, the national security blocked copyright treaty has now leaked, and it says open taxing, open regulation of the web, ICANN being handed over to the UN, total control, guilty until proven innocent, copyright rules, shutting down websites, ISPs, and really UN control over the Internet. Where do you stand on that, Congressman?
Well, it's very frightening, and I think that if they're successful, let's just hope that Internet is too big and too complex for them ever to have controls, but they're making the attempt. They would love to put us out of business, but I am hopeful that we don't ever allow it to go that far. But they are doing everything in the world to control the Internet, and that to me would be a real tragedy.
A lot of people say it could never happen. It's too big. They never try it. They are stating on record, the White House, the NSA, repeatedly in the last month, the White House has said we may have to shut the Internet off to save it, and during the flu pandemic or other emergency, only let you go to government sites. That's quite a trial balloon by the White House.
Yeah, and all those authorities are packed in, emergency legislation. They don't really have to come to the Congress to do that. They do that on occasion just to get it rubber stamped, but there's been so much emergency legislation passed. And besides, if it isn't passed, you know what, how much license they take with executive orders and the various procedures that they use. So, no, if they claim this is for national security reasons, they just go ahead and do it. So it's a very dangerous time in which we live.
You're a medical doctor, and you've also worked with the Von Mises Institute and received awards from them for your economic understanding. And, of course, this flu situation is economic for the vaccine makers. Government gets to have a power grab. But you've pointed out that Obama won't give the flu shot to his daughters. Now even Time Magazine's reporting the German government military won't take the shot with the squalene or the mercury or the interleukin-2 or any of this. So government's taking one vaccine, the people's getting another. Your take on that, Congressman?
Well, that always happens that way, and I did see a report after I made that announcement because he had said it in public about Obama's daughters not getting the shot. But since that time, we are told now they have gotten it. But you'd wonder which one they got and whether or not it had the mercury in it or whatnot. But, we've done it to our own military personnel, in the Persian Gulf War. They got a lot of inoculations, and people came back with Persian Gulf War syndrome. It was a combination of chemicals and inoculations. So it's, to me, though, it's a mixed bag because a lot of people don't want it, and they're fighting it, and they know, and they're being forced to take it, and other people get panicked into it, and they'll line up for hours and hours and hours waiting for it as if this was a really, really serious crisis. It's a serious disease, and people do die, but even these few, the numbers of people that have died from it, they're significant, but they're very small compared to regular flu. And many times the individuals, I think over 2/3 of the children that died so far had other serious medical problems. So, but the drumbeat for the fear to build up is, to me, it's all done for that reason, for the people to become more obedient and more dependent on the government.
So they're trying to set the precedent for this medical tyranny to force their will on us?
I think it's just another attempt. I'm sure there are a bunch of people who believe, well, no, this is very serious. The medical people have told us this, and this is what we have to do. But let's say it was a reasonable thing, to give people shots. I think that the real message here is, why should the government be in charge of it? you know, if they're in charge, there's a shortage. The people who don't want it are being forced to take it. The people who want it can't get it. It's costing a lot of money. The other vaccine, the regular flu shots, are not available, and it's on and on. And right now, I saw a chart just a couple of days ago that shows that this individual believed that swine flu is going to peak, you know, within another week or two. And if it peaks and starts to drop off naturally, that's about the time we're going to have all these flu shots coming in and not have the flu shot that maybe is much more important. The point being,
sure,
why should they be in charge? And why should we turn over our health care to these clowns who are trying to distribute you know, a vaccine? So either way,
it's bad.
It just
Congressman,
proves the point that we shouldn't be doing it.
On top of that, all over the country, schools are injecting children, even when their parents say don't do it, and the schools are saying, oops, it's an accident. Clearly, that's premeditated. But shifting gears now, we saw Republican wins in New Jersey and Virginia